Are you stuck on where to start creating a content calendar for 2019? Well, grab a pen and paper, grab a coffee, because in this video, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step tutorial on how you can create your content calendar for social media for 2019. Plus, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you the template that I use so that you can bypass a lot of the hard work. And guys, if you want the best social media and content marketing tips, tricks, tutorials and how-tos, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell below so that you're notified when I put out a new video every Wednesday. Now let's get into it. If the idea of creating a content calendar overwhelms you or fries your brain, then number one, you are not alone. But stick with me because I'm going to take you step by step through everything I go through, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create a content calendar for yourself. This is the process that I use with pretty much all of my clients, and it's pretty freaking awesome if I may say so myself. Okay, so if you've got your pen and paper, let's dive in. Now basically, my content calendars center around 5 bigger questions that I ask myself, and then in answer to those questions, I'm able to attribute certain content within my calendar. So let me walk you through those questions. The first question is, what are the main goals that I am trying to achieve? So included in this question is, what are the main platforms I'm going to use this year? What is the priority on my website? Am I looking for traffic to my website? Am I looking for traffic to other platforms? Or am I looking for growth? You need to understand where you're headed with those goals in order to make good decisions around your content. So for example, in 11 Lights Media, our priority is less on our website and more on social, and that's purely because people hear about me and follow me, and then they connect with me through social media, and that's actually how I grow my business. So for me to drive growth and traffic around the different social media channels that I use is of high priority to me. However, for some people, they actually want more traffic to their website, and that's fine. The other thing is, perhaps you have a channel that's of high importance for you to grow. So specifically for 11 Lights Media this year, I have placed a larger emphasis on YouTube being my primary platform and Instagram being my other primary platform. I never typically recommend more than 2 platforms as primary platforms because it just overwhelms people, and most people don't have the resources or the team yet to sustain that kind of content output and even that content trail, like following things and seeing if they're actually making a difference. So that being said, I do have what I would call sub-platforms. So I'm still going to be posting on Facebook, just a lot less frequently. And I'm probably going to be doing a lot less original content for those platforms, and it's going to be repurposing of other content I've created elsewhere for YouTube and for Instagram. I'm also having LinkedIn this year as a sub-platform for 11 Lights Media. So, just to recap that, make sure you know your goals for your content before you start so you know where to put your energy once you begin creating content. The second question that I ask myself and for my clients is, what will my pillar content be? So we've already established that YouTube is of high priority for 11 Lights Media this year. And so therefore my pillar content is going to be this video, these types of videos that are how-tos or tutorials. They are packed with information and education, and therefore they stand alone as really strong pieces of content. And I will likely draw heavily from these pillar videos for my Instagram inspiration, so to speak. So when we're asking questions about what our pillar content is going to be, we have to know what our primary platform is, which we've already addressed in the first question, and we have to know what format we're going to produce content in. So let me go a little left field for a second, because this is not something that I do for myself in my business. However, somebody's pillar content might actually be their podcast. So that format is then audio, and that becomes important later on when we look at micro content. So let me regroup for a second. At this point, we have not put a single thing on our content calendar yet. However, that's okay because that's going to start falling into place with these last couple of questions. So my third question is, what is my schedule? How often do I want to be posting on these platforms? And probably even more realistically, how often can I create content? Once you know how often you want to be posting and also how often you can create the content, you now have the ability to open up a calendar and have a look at the spots that need to be filled. For some people, it's going to be every day and multiple times a day across multiple platforms. For other people, it's going to be a handful of times a week or even a handful of times a month in order for them to establish consistency. And side note, bonus tip right here, consistency is everything and it's also the hardest thing to do. But consistency wins business more times than a perfect feed or a perfect video or perfect audio. You have to understand that it is better that you start with less and you're consistent than you aim too high and fall flat and you don't show up at the promised time for your people. Okay, so now we know our main platforms. We know how often we can create content. We know what our primary format is going to be, and we know how often we want to schedule, and we know how often we can actually create the content. So now we need to look at our fourth question. This is really where we start putting pen to paper. So let's start with my business as an example before we move into question 4. So this is my pillar piece of content. I'm going to be creating this particular thing weekly. However, I want to be posting 3 to 4 times a week on Instagram. So that being said, I would use this video and make a teaser for my other platforms, including Instagram. And now I know that I already have one piece of content for that week filled. Because I'm going by a weekly calendar, I only need to worry about 1 week at a time. That will make the process less overwhelming and it will allow you to really go, okay, here's my pillar content, here's my other content that we're about to talk about, and then it's just up to you to fill the gaps where necessary. And we'll talk about how to do that in a really meaningful way in a second. So my fourth question is, what is the micro content that I can create out of my pillar content? So for example, out of this piece of content itself, I will pull some audio of something profound that I say. Hopefully I say something profound for you guys. I will pull a quote and I will turn this information I'm giving you now into long form written content for Instagram as well. So now I not only have this teaser that I'm going to create for Instagram to direct people back to YouTube because it's my priority, but I have 3 other pieces of content I can pull out of this video to reinforce my message. And this is really important. You need to be reinforcing your message multiple times throughout the week or month or however often you cycle through a message, because people hear and see and assimilate content in different ways. And not only that, if I put out a teaser video and they miss that call to action to go and watch the YouTube video, then maybe they'll see my long form written content and go, oh, I can't believe I missed that video, I'm gonna go watch it now. So you actually need to be reinforcing your own message over and over, and it gets boring for you and you feel like you're beating the same drum all the time. And it's actually really difficult to do as a content creator because we know the message like in our bones, and so we just feel like people are going to be sick of us, but it's just not true. We find that people need to hear something over and over and over and over before they will take action, before they will understand, before they will have that, forgive me for using this term, but like their aha moment. So don't feel bad that you're using one piece of content and basically rehashing it and banging that drum, because people need to hear a message over and over. I cannot emphasize that. I cannot state that enough. Do not be afraid of giving that message again and again. So now in my Instagram week, my 3 to 4 posts that I want to do, I actually have 3 out of 4 of them. So I have my teaser, I have my quote. So whether I end up doing that as an image or an audio soundbite or even like a video snippet, I have 3 different options there, which is incredible, but I'll probably only use one just for myself. And then I also have my long form written content. So now if I want to hit that marker of making sure I get 4 posts out, I really just have to look in at how I'm going to fill the gap in a way that's meaningful for my business. And that's where we get to question number 5. So question number 5 is, how do I support my overall business goals? And I use this question for the filler content because oftentimes people go, I don't know what to post, so I'll just shove up a quote. I don't know what to post, so I'll just put something funny up. And those things aren't inherently bad, because sometimes it's important to pull back a little bit so that we're not information heavy all the time and overwhelm our audience. However, it's better that you can support your business goals. So if a really big goal for you is to get people to your website this year, then have great stuff on your website that you can point people back to. Or if a business goal is to make a certain amount of revenue, then clearly you've got to sell more product or more of your service. So consider having a sales call to action each week or each fortnight or each month, whatever is comfortable for you. The higher dollar value you have, probably the less call to actions you're going to have. But it's okay to say, hey guys, I sell X, Y, and Z. Feel free to fill in this form here, DM us for a quote here, or buy my t-shirt here. Those things are totally okay to fill in those gaps. So basically, if you can fill out the rest of your content calendar with things that make sense for your business goals, then you nailed it, and you're going to be able to create a content calendar day after day, week after week, month after month, however you do it. So now you know the exact steps and questions you need to ask yourself in order to create an awesome content calendar. But what about right now when you need to have content out yesterday? Well, I've got you covered. I've created a download with a month already done for you, a month that you can fill in for yourself, and also the visual framework that I just gave you so that you're able to fill it in and you're off and running. So download that now. The link is going to be below. Guys, if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a comment below telling me what was the most helpful step for you. Also, make sure you like it, subscribe, share with your friends, all those good things, and I will be back next Wednesday with a video for you.